Here, our goal is to factorize and simplify this algebraic expression. Notice that we have t squared minus 3t all over t squared plus t minus 12. Indeed, we're going to factorize the denominator first. And so let's do that. We have t squared plus t minus 12. And so we ask ourselves the following question. Okay, notice that this is plus t. And so if we have plus t, what we actually have is plus 1t, right? This is plus 1t. So 1 is the coefficient here of t. And so we ask ourselves, okay, what two numbers that we can use that when we add them, we get 1. And when we multiply them, we get negative 12. Again, what two numbers we could use when we add them, we get 1 because the coefficient of t is 1. And when we multiply them, we get negative 12. And so what we have, the numbers that we can use are 4 and negative 3. Because 4 plus negative 3 is 1, and 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. And so we say, okay, 1t can be expressed as 4t minus 3t, because 4t minus 3t is indeed 1t. And so we have t squared plus 4t minus 3t minus 12. And so we're going to factorize these two terms, and we're going to factorize these two terms. Notice that t is here, and t is also here, so we can factor out t. And when we factor out t, we are left with t plus 4. That's because t times t is t squared, and t times 4 is 4t. And in this case, we factor out a negative 3. That's because negative 3 times t is negative 3t, and negative 3 times positive 4 is negative 12. And so notice that we have t plus 4 in this term and t plus 4 in this term. That means that t plus 4 is a common factor of these two terms. And so we're going to factor out t plus 4. And when we factor out t plus 4, we are left with t minus 3. And so what we have here is t plus 4 multiplied by t minus 3. And that is the factored form of this particular expression above. And so let us use that. So the denominator in its factored form is going to be t plus 4 multiplied by t minus 3. We also factorize the numerator. Notice that t is in this term and t is also in this term. And so since t is in both terms, t is a common factor of both terms. And so we factor out t. And when we factor out t, we are left with t minus 3. And that's because t times t is t squared, and t times negative 3 is negative 3t. Next, we cancel. So we cancel out this t minus 3 with that t minus 3. And we are left with t all over t plus 4. And so our answer is t all over t plus 4. And that's the answer to this particular question.